So I took the old one off. On this new one, Wildwood or Wheelwood or whatever you want to call it, comes with new adapters. So I tightened them down first to connect these two, and then I'm going to push it up and then put the new clip in. So they got a new clip. They'll slide in there and hold it in place. And then they got the lines that connect to it separate. So make sure you do the fittings first and get them in place first. There's that with the clip. What I had to do is I had to put a screwdriver in here just to pry it up a little bit, get the clip started, and then I just hammered while holding until it got in. One side, on this side, right here, didn't go in the groove. It was popped out a little bit, so I just took a screwdriver and a hammer, and I just put that down in there, hammered it back down into the groove, and then hammered and pushed the clip all the way in. What we got to do is this little inlet here. I'm gonna put that down first and kind of angle it the way I need, not too terribly tight, because I want to install the caliper first and then the line. Okay, so then once I got that, I took this little, well, it's not a cotter pin, but this little pin sits in there. Just get a pair of pliers, squeeze them out, and then this rotates out, and then you can push that back in for your brakes. And then you can put this pin back in there by squeezing it and dropping it back in its groove. So it didn't come with bolts. Came with the rear bolts for the back, but not for the front. So I'm gonna have to run down to the parts store and get the correct bolts. You know, I don't want to use the old bolts because I don't think they're exactly the same, because these are threaded longer. So I'm gonna take one of these out of the package for these are the rear. It says rear. So I'm gonna take one out of the package, put it in, test it, see if that's the correct length it should be, and then yeah, we'll go find some new bolts and washers. So because I don't want to be taking any chance using the old bolts, because it might be a different thread or whatever, I don't know. So I feel more comfortable just getting new ones anyway. It'll look shinier, because look at these old, I mean, they look like junk. So let's get the new bolts on. Okay, so this is why I tested the bolt length. Let's see here if I can, I don't know if you can see it, but see how that bolt right there is touching the caliper. So see, these ones are too long. So I'm glad I got the, you know, to test them just in case. So they are shorter. They probably are going to be, you know, this size. So I'm going to put this one in the top and see exactly where that one sits. So see, the back ones use a bigger, these old bolts do fit, but like I said, I want newer ones. So, but anyway, that's why I tested it, because that would have not worked at all. Bolt in, you can see it turns freely now. So I know those bolts are going to be the right length for these units too. You just never know with aftermarket. I know they're say they bolt right in and everything, but you just don't know. All right, there it is installed. What's funny is it took me longer to go get the the new bolts than it did to put this all together. So anyway, you can kind of see the line. That's better without the flashlight. It just goes into the back there, connects. Simple as that. So got plenty of clearance, rotates just fine. So that rear bolt kit, they're too long too. Look at the difference. That's where it bottoms out. You can see kind of where it's dirt. So I have to go get me new bolts for that too. Well, shoot. Wonder if they had it mislabeled or something, but anyway, no big deal. It's just a little bit of drive to go get bolts. But yeah, like I said, it took me longer to go get bolts than throw these on. So that's looking pretty good. And these rims use spacers too, so there should be no problem with the wheels going back on too. So all right, and here's the back. Okay, so kind of got the brakes on. I got too tired. I having a hell of a time bleeding them. I got one of those little self-pumper bleeders and still having a hard time getting all the air out of there, so I'm calling it a night, just buttoning it all up. I went to start the car and the front bowl is leaking, and the the bolts that go into the front bowl are stripped. So I'm gonna be looking at something else different. I'm gonna go with, I don't know. I hate to have the carburetor just rebuilt and everything, but now it's leaking again, and we can't have leaking, so I just might buy a new carburetor. Darn it. The last thing I need is another fire. So, but that wildwood does look better. I just wish I had somebody here to, I need an extra foot. Yeah, the little vacuum bleeder, it works okay, but I still can't get the pedal to where I feel comfortable with it. So maybe if I can catch the neighbor in a day or two, I'll adjust them again. And easier with somebody up there pumping it and then letting the air out. Alright, I know I haven't posted up the video, so I'm going to add this all into one video. But so now you can see where I had a fuel leak. The bottom here, these bolts are pretty much just stripped, and it's leaking out of the bottom, and we're down where the power valve is. So frustrating because I just had it rebuilt. But anyway, going a different route. Let's just spend some more money. That's all it is. So this is the guy I got. It's the Ultra Street Avenger 770 CFM. So this should be getting us brand new, you know. Instead of trying to do rebuild and just trying to hop along, I think it's just, you know, time to get a whole new system in play. Didn't want to spend the money on this, but I want the car running. I'm tired. So yep. And hopefully, with everything pretty much new on this thing, hopefully it'll just be done, and you know, I'll be able to drive it and enjoy it for a long time. I did buy this, like I said, knowing it was a project car, so I've come a long way, and so I'm getting, you know, once I get it up and running smooth and everything, and I can drive it pretty much daily, then I'm gonna be happy. But yeah, it's just replacing parts here and there, and I knew that would happen, but yeah, but so pretty much all of the big stuff, besides like the suspension and stuff I want to do later on, it's pretty much done. So anyway, but yeah, it'll look a lot better than this zinc one. So it's all this one's all aluminum, and this one actually saves, I think they said 7 pounds compared to the other one. So between the Wildwood brakes, which is 36 pounds, I save all in all 4 wheels, and then another 7 there, so there's what, 43 43 pounds, and then another 7 pounds there, so almost 50 pounds of, you know, in reduction, in weight reduction, so that'll be nice. All right, just to kind of show you what the differences are. These ones have actual windows. I mean, there's a lot of differences, but I mean, glass windows, so that helps adjust things a lot easier, you know. And then we have, as you can see, the secondaries. We have an adjustment screw on the secondaries, so that can help also. Lighter weight, of course, looks nicer. You can kind of tell it's all set up different. I mean, I don't know how old this carburetor is, so yeah. So this one should be a lot better. Very similar in design, but this one's aluminum machined, you know, and these aren't. So, and it kind of has that color scheme I'm going for. It has that chrome and black. So not too bad, not too shabby. You know, pretty much everything else is the same, you know, kind of similar looking. So I should be able to just drop that right in and hopefully fire it up. And I don't know, we'll see what spring size we have in there. That'll be a tunability issue later on if there's a little bit of a bog or anything, and they gave me different springs here. So I'll be able to running 100% better. Sounds better. No leaks. Looking better. 6 pounds of pressure. The regulator's working fine. Yeah, I think that old carburetor just had it, so. We're just a hair up on the idle a little bit. We'll bring it down just a little bit. Sounding a little bit better. Much easier to tune. Everything was pretty much just preset. The float bowls I had to adjust. But other than that, just the float bowls. And then the idle. But it sounded real good. I have to take it for a drive. I still gotta do my brakes, so I wanna bleed them one more time. So there we go. All right, so lesson learned for anybody else that's gonna be doing this: just go buy a damn new carburetor. Don't have a rebuild. Like I said, that one, the one I had was just ancient, old. So, yep. Anyway, yeah, I want to bleed the brakes one more time. I was having a hell of a time. Plus, I started not feeling very well when I was bleeding the brakes. So I kind of gave up halfway. And that hand bleeder is a piece of junk. So I'm going to use the brake method, where I put a bottle and a tube going into the bottle, and then just pressing out all the air that way. So, all right, I should be set everything for here. I shouldn't have to do any more adjustments right away after I need to take it for a drive and see how the response is, to see if it bogs down or anything like that. But so far, it sounds like it has a lot more oomph to it, sounding a lot better. So, yep. And then, you know, while I was tinkering with it, my temperature gauge, just sitting here, only went up to like 170. So we'll test that out too. So maybe it was the carburetor causing my, you know, maybe it was just dumping the wrong amount of fuel. that I needed and just causing it to overheat, burning too much. So yeah, I like those glass windows for the bowls because it makes adjusting your fuel level way easy. So far I'm liking it. The one thing I have to adjust here before I get going too far is I want to bring this accelerator pump, well, I don't know, maybe just a hair. I want to bring it up. All right, we finally got it outside moving. Triple checking everything. Make sure there's no weird leaks. Oh, this is so much smoother. Smoother idle by far. Like it got another 50 horse. My brakes are still a little spongy. Still don't get all the air out. Way better, way different too than that old carburetor. I don't have to mess with the pedal at all. I just stomp on it and it goes. My temperature's holding just under 180. Yeah. Way better. Better response. The engine feels like it's just, yeah, way better. just a little more fine tuning, and you know, I think we're there. So like I said, it's idling, it goes up and down a little bit from 1,000 to about 750. So I gotta get that worked out a little bit. But and then another thing, I need to hook up because my alternator's producing a little too much power to my head unit, so I need to redo my power wire to my head unit, because the head unit's flickering. So I need to get that fixed now. So I need to rerun to a different a different power line, so because we don't want just a flickering screen. All right, yeah, it runs damn good. I mean, it feels like I got another 100 horse. So I'm glad I went with that carburetor. I mean, it's been a hell of an ordeal, but you know what? Look at all the good that came from it. So, and it looks really nice in here inside. So, yeah. All right, guys. Thanks. We made it.